Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Greetings, family, and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. As always, I would ask that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit the notification bell if you want to be made aware of every time I upload content. I would also ask that you click on that thumbs up button if you find this video informative. Now, as I reported in my last video, the Gambian police made an arrest in the case of Shakina Chenedu almost immediately after we learned of her killing. And now, within the last day or so, the Gambian police held a press conference to share with the media and with the public the results of their investigation. So let's take a look at the press conference. I'm going to stop it here and there to comment on what the commissioner is saying and to also clarify what he's saying, because he speaks pretty rapidly and has a strong accent, and so it's easy to miss what he's saying. And I just want to make sure we get as much as we can from what he's telling us.
I would just give a brief facts regarding the case of Shakina Chenedu, who is a British national resident in the Gambia here. The resident is at Brusubi. She was reported missing on Wednesday, the 14th of February, 2024. After when the issue of the missing of this Chenedu came, the police swiftly get into the matter, investigate, and then a suspect was apprehended. The suspect definitely, helped the police during the course of the investigation, and then the police were able to get admission from the suspect. He confessed of doing the act, and then he led the police to recover the properties that he stole after murdering Madam Chenedu.
So as you saw, they said that the suspect actually confessed to killing Shakina, and then he led the police to recover items that he actually stole from her.
And then the police definitely went back with him to the crime scene. Chenedu is on a construction at a new site at Madina Alaji. It's a village between Kunkuja Mariama and Mahmuda.
So here he's telling us that the killing took place on the construction site, the new site that Shakina was building for her new home, and he's telling us where it's located. And he actually said that it's near the village of Mahmuda, which I actually traveled to on one of my visits to the Gambia, and I did a video on that trip to the village. So I'm going to link that in the description box just for those who might want to see it. I can say that that area is quite a bit a ways from the main centers in the Gambia, where, the city sort of towns that are highly populated, where all the markets are and that sort of thing. We actually had to have transport take us out to the village, and it took us quite a while to get there.
That's where she was murdered by the suspect, Augustine Bangura, who is a Sierra Leonean national.
And here he's just told us that the suspect's name is Augustine Bangura, and he said that the suspect is a Sierra Leonean national.
During the course of the investigation, the keys of Shakina were recovered from the suspect. He kept them at the residence where he is in Bakote. And then we also recover some of the items that were stolen from the deceased.
So here he has just told us that they recovered Shakina's keys at the suspect's residence and some of the other items that they recovered in their investigation.
Then we also recovered the hammer that he used to kill Madam Chenedu. The hammer, the spade, everything is those are the article of evidences that we have in hand.
So here he's telling us that they recovered the actual hammer that was used to kill Shakina, and that they also recovered a spade that was used in the commission of the murder. So now, believe it or not, they're going to show us the actual hammer that was used as the murder weapon.
According to the suspect, he confessed to the police that he used a hammer, and the hammer he used is this hammer. So he led the police to recover this hammer based on his own confession. He hit the deceased with this hammer on the neck, at the back of the neck, and then the suspect collapsed.
This is actually really horrific and hard to watch, but the commissioner has now shown us the actual hammer that the suspect confessed was used in the commission of the killing, and he's telling us that the suspect said he hit Shakina in the back of the neck with that hammer, and then she collapsed. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine her going through that ordeal. And I also can't imagine them actually bringing and waving the murder weapon at a press conference.
Then after the collapse of the disease, he dragged her from the point of the incident to it. There was a soccer that is under construction. That's where he dragged the deceased and put him there, and then used a spade, and then reburied the deceased with this spade.
And so now he's told us that the suspect then dragged Shakina's body from the place where she collapsed over to the soakaway that was being constructed as well. And then the commissioner showed us the spade that was actually allegedly used in connection with the murder. And while it's good to get this level of detail, it's also just difficult to hear and to envision based on what he's saying, at least for me.
And then after that, he also took the handbag of the deceased, took 2 mobile phones, some gadgets. There are some other gadgets. A laptop. This one of the laptop. This is the bag, he took from the deceased. And then this is the laptop that was also found in the bag of the deceased at the time. Then he just left the deceased at the scene, locked the compound gate, and went away.
And so now the commissioner has actually shown us the bag that the suspect allegedly took from Shakina, and said that he took not only that bag, but some phones, some other gadgets, and 1 or more laptops. And he showed us the bag and the laptop. Now, as some of you know, I'm a lawyer here in America, and let me just say there is no circumstance under which a police commissioner and the police would bring items that were used to kill a deceased, as well as items that were taken from the deceased in connection with the death, to an outdoor press conference, and then have those items handed up to him with his bare hands and hold them up for everyone to view. Here in America, that would be tainted evidence. We need to be able to obtain fingerprints from that evidence. And we also have what is called the chain of custody, meaning that in a court of law, when you're trying to obtain a conviction of a defendant who has been charged with the killing of someone, you have to demonstrate a chain of custody for the evidence you're using. And that means where it was obtained and where it has been held every step along the way. And certainly hauling it all outside so that it can be shown and picked up one by one in a press conference would disrupt the chain of custody. But they're not in America, they're in Gambia with a suspect who has already confessed to the crime. So they're following their procedures as they should. And I hope that they will be successful in bringing this suspect to justice if indeed he is the one who committed this crime.
It was after that he used the keys that were also found in the back, went back to the house of the deceased, where he opened and took another cash, some money, and the other two laptops. These other laptops here. These are the keys that he used, that he stole from the deceased after being murdered.
And then he tells us that after the suspect committed the crime, he closed the compound around the new construction site, locked the gate, and left. And then he used those keys and went back later to the construction site, the scene of the crime, and took some money from that site as well. And then the commissioner held up the keys for us to see. You can see that something fell out and fell on the ground. I don't know what that was. I don't know. It's a whole different legal system. And I won't make any further comments about how they manage their investigations.
During the course of the investigation also, he was found with a pistol. And this is the pistol he was found with. This is the pistol he was found with, and then he's still under investigation, so that we will be able to determine how he got in possession of this, of this weapon.
And then, surprisingly, the commissioner has told us that the suspect was also found to be in possession of a pistol. And so they're going to continue the investigation to learn how the suspect came into possession of that weapon. I am sure that the fact that this Sierra Leonean national was in possession of a firearm caused great concern among the authorities, because for the most part, guns are prohibited in the Gambia. In researching the matter, I did see that one can obtain a special permit to import a firearm into the Gambia. So you need a permit to even bring it in. And any firearms will be kept by the police until such permit is granted, if that actually happens. But as a general rule, the citizens and visitors to the Gambia are not allowed to be in possession of firearms. So that actually is really interesting. There you have it, family. There's been an arrest in the case of Shakina Chenedu. They have a suspect who reportedly has confessed and then led the police to find the weapon that was used to kill Shakina, as well as the items that were stolen from her. From what we can tell now, it would seem that the investigation, for the most part, is complete, although, as I noted, the police are still investigating how this Sierra Leonean national came to be in possession of a firearm in the country of the Gambia. I hope you found this video informative It is a bit, as I mentioned, concerning, hard to watch, but still it's important to know what the facts are. And should there be anything else to report about this case in the future that I'm made aware of, I will definitely share it. But it looks like the investigation, at least into the part of her unaliving, is for the most part completed. And I would also point out that as far as I'm aware, nobody is conducting any investigation into the unalivings of the Black American women who were unalived over in the Gambia. No autopsies are conducted as a matter of course. So it really have to be a private individual who is willing to pay for an investigation, an autopsy, and then if something is revealed, of course, that could be reported to the authorities. But to my knowledge, that is not happening. So to all my folks from the diaspora across the globe, if you're in the Gambia, if you've relocated to the Gambia, if you're planning to travel to the Gambia, watch your back, connect with others, and stay safe. Until the next video, peace and love, family. Love and light.